What's up, guys? It's your man DX. Welcome back to the Elite DX channel. Will Smith and the Cult of Jada, Part 2. Now, in Part 1, we discussed the origins of the relationship between Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, and how that led to what we are seeing play out in front of us today. We'll get a little bit deeper into that and more. But first, everybody hit that like button to show love for the content. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when I drop a new video. Leave me a comment in the comment section and also share this on social media. Let's go. So we established that in 1994, when Jada Pinkett met Will Smith, she had already had an extensive relationship with Tupac Shakur. Tupac and Jada had met each other back in the late 80s when they were both teenagers. So she had known Tupac for a good 7 or 8 years before she even met Will Smith. And despite how Jada wants to remember it, it seems like Tupac only wanted a friends with benefits type of relationship with her. In the past, I've had this situation play out many times with women where they want a lot more from me than what I want from them. So I just get what I can get out of the situation and just keep it going for as long as I can. So in 1994, Will Smith basically inserts himself into Jada's life as far as wanting to date her. And I really don't think that Jada was interested in Will Smith in that way initially when they first met. So of course, this means that Will Smith becomes the second choice for Jada to have a relationship with. She really wanted Tupac. Guys, there's an old saying that was made into a song, and it was redone by the Isley Brothers, originally I think done by Stephen Stills, and it's called Love the One You're With. And the saying goes, if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. So Jada clearly wanted Tupac, but couldn't have him like that. And make no mistake about it, Tupac was that dude. He was known to be seen around town with multiple women, including Kidada Jones, Quincy Jones's daughter, and Lisa Left Eye Lopez from TLC. So Tupac was definitely a ladies' man, and he wasn't sweating any female, including Jada. But Jada was definitely trying to secure some kind of relationship with Tupac up until the day he died in September of 1996. But it never happened. So she settled for Will Smith. Now guys, this is the position you never want to be in with a woman. You never want to be somebody she settles for. Now at that same time, while Jada was stuck on Tupac, Will Smith of course had his chance to date other women. And just to get an idea of what kind of guy Will Smith was at that time and still has always been, there was recently an article that resurfaced that was done in 2009 for The Grind, where Sandy Denton, better known as Peppa of Salt and Pepper, gave an interview where she told how she tried to date Will Smith, but it didn't work out. And in this interview, she gives the tea on why it didn't work out. She states, I thought Will was really cute and we would hang out a lot on the road. He liked to take care of me and he never let me spend a dime. He was that kind of guy, real generous. He was so nice to me, but I really wasn't feeling him. I guess I couldn't appreciate a guy like Will Smith. He wasn't thug enough. I was attracted to thugs and hoodlums. Will was too nice to me. She goes on to say, I liked people like Louis Burrell, MC Hammer's brother. He was rough, he was street, and he didn't pull any punches. He would walk around with a cane and a pimp hat. He always referred to women as BIs. Even with all that, I liked him. Now this is the same Sandy Denton, Peppa, who would go on to marry and eventually get divorced from Tretch from Naughty by Nature. Are you starting to see the picture here? Now, of course, the name of this article is Peppa Regrets Not Dating Will Smith. But you have to realize that at the time of this article in 2009, Sandy Denton, or Peppa, is 42 or 43 years old. Now guys, you'll find this a lot with women when they get older. They'll regret the choices they made in their 20s and 30s. But when they're in their prime, they don't want a nice guy like Will Smith, despite what they might say. What they really want is a guy who's assertive, a guy who's self-assured, and a guy who's on the mean side. For women in their 20s and 30s, in their prime, the old saying is really true. Nice guys finish last. And the reality is you don't want women when they're over 35 and over the hill in their 40s anyway. So if you want women in their prime, you have to be this type of guy, self-assured and brash and assertive. So as you can imagine, a nice guy like Will didn't have a lot of women giving him the chance to even get close to them. But after Tupac died, Jada actually gave Will a chance and let him smash and all that stuff, and they even got pregnant. But she still was not feeling him like that. And Jada admits herself in this clip from her Red Table Talk Facebook Live show that she never really wanted to marry Will Smith in the first place. In fact, basically it was Will Smith and Jada's mother who talked her into marrying Will Smith.
I really didn't want to get married, but...
We only got married because Gammy was crying.
You know, being a young actress, being young, and I was just like pregnant. I was just like, I didn't know what to do. But I just knew, I was like, I never wanted to be married.
I don't remember that. I remember feeling very strongly and wanting you guys to be married. I do remember that. Yes. But I don't remember your rejection of the idea of marriage. I remember the rejection of the idea of a wedding.
I didn't want a wedding either.
She didn't want it,
I was like, I don't want to get married, and now Gammy done gone to Will crying about, I don't want to have a wedding, and now I'm being forced to have a wedding.
So Will Smith has been living this married life for the past 25 years with his wife, knowing full well that he was not her first choice to be with. He was a consolation prize that she settled for after the man she really wanted to be with died. And knowing that in Jada's eyes, he could never measure up to the memories that she has of Tupac. But it gets even worse. His wife, Jada, has actually raised her children she has with Will to admire, respect, and revere Tupac, a dead man whom they've never met, and to place him above their own father, just because she can't get the memory of him out of her brain. But you see, this is how women treat simps. This is what women eventually do to all simps. She has completely warped his children. And Jaden, Will's son, shows it in this interview from several years ago on the Big Boy radio show.
I just didn't understand and just how deep-rooted they are in hip-hop as well.
Yeah, oh my gosh, man.
I'm looking at this picture right here of Tupac on the shirt right there, and Tupac asked to marry my mom.
Yeah.
And she was like, we're Pac, like we're best friends.
Right.
So now let's first address what he said about his parents being deeply rooted in hip-hop. All my hip-hop heads out there, let me know in the comments what you think about this. I'm a hip-hop head myself, and I can tell you that the only thing people think about when it comes to Jada, when it comes to hip-hop, is that Tupac used to F with her like that, and that's about it. And when it comes to Will Smith, anybody who knows hip-hop knows that he's not on the top level of rappers in hip-hop like Chuck D, KRS-One, and Rakim and people like that. And he's not even on the second level of rappers like Tupac and Biggie and Heavy D. Will Smith would be more like on the third or fourth level, like a Kid and Play or something like that. So all my hip hop heads out there, hit me up in the comments and let me know what y'all think about him acting like his parents are some kind of hip hop royalty or something. But anyway, if you look at the expression on his face when he talks about Tupac, it's obvious that he's been told these stories over and over again since the time that he was little by his mother. And he has a reverence, a respect, and an admiration for Tupac that he doesn't even show when he's talking about his father. And his sister Willow is no different. She penned this letter to Tupac when she was about 10 or 11 years old, falsely believing that he is alive somewhere, and telling him how sad her mother is without him.
Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow.
Now, at the very least, you have to admit that that's pretty weird. Most little girls idolize their fathers. They're crazy about their fathers. But this little girl was writing to a man who's no longer alive because mommy has repeatedly told her how she feels and felt about Tupac. And now we're starting to get a full picture of just what Will Smith has been going through in his own household over the last 25 years. He's been treated like a stepchild in his own residence. And thanks to the prominence of social media and Jada's incessant posting for the last few years, we can also take a look at what kind of a browbeating and disrespect this man is taking from his own wife in his own home. In this video, it appears that Will Smith just woke up and is trying to get his day started. And suddenly Jada shoves a camera in the man's face and starts talking about a guest that's coming on her show and expecting Will to help her promote it.
Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my God. I'm still dealing with foolishness. Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not.
Because she's helped us a lot, can't you tell?
Now that was disrespectful, rude, aggressive, and mean-spirited behavior on her part. The man's getting bullied in his own kitchen by his wife. He makes it clear that he does not want a camera shoved in his face early in the morning and he's just not in the mood. And all she can do is sit there and disregard everything he says and even ridicule him for not wanting to do this. You can tell from this video alone who wears the pants in the Smith family, and it ain't Will. A lot of things can happen in 25 years in a marriage. One of the things that can happen is that you can become really, really attached to the other person. Another thing that can happen is that you can grow a really, really deep respect and have a really deep connection with the other person. But unfortunately, there are also some not so great things that can happen in a marriage in 25 years. One person can get too comfortable and start taking the other person for granted. Or one person can get into the habit of showing disrespect to the other person and treating that person badly. None of this is right, but I have to make another observation here. Will Smith is just as much to blame for this situation as Jada is, if not more. Because when it comes down to it, we teach people how to treat us. And I understand that when a man is young, he may have been raised to be nice to women, to not be that aggressive, and maybe he's not that assertive. But in life, you have to learn and change and adapt. You should always be making yourself into a greater and greater version of yourself every day. I have always been an extremely confident and assertive type of guy. It just came naturally to me, but I do realize that some of us have to grow into this. One of the most valuable lessons in life is that you have to know when to put your foot down with people and set boundaries. None of this behavior should have ever been tolerated. He should have checked this woman a long time ago, and if she didn't want to correct her actions after being checked, he should have just kicked her to the curb. But we all know that Will Smith is and always has been too nice of a guy to rock it like that. He ain't about that life. And that's the reason that he is now living the life of a pee-whipped simp. So in conclusion, this is how we end up at this moment, where Will Smith, one of the world's most famous actors, is walking up on stage at the Oscars and slapping another man for telling a joke. A joke, by the way, that was not mean-spirited and actually was not that funny. This is what women do to simps. And there's been a couple of things that have happened since that night of shame at the Oscars for Will Smith. Will checked himself into rehab and has since gotten out. And Jada has made the rounds, doing interviews and everything like that, talking about how she didn't need to be protected and how Will Smith has ruined everything. Will basically sacrificed the next 10 years of his career. And for what? Because all Jada can do is criticize him and throw him under the bus. And I expected that to happen because women despise simps. They hate them. Well, if you haven't seen part 1 of The Cult of Jada, click on the card in the top right corner of the screen right now. A link will also be in the description. Well, I guess that's it for me. You guys go ahead and hit that like button to show that you're really feeling this content. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that reminder bell so you will know when I drop a new video. Also, leave me a comment down in the comment section to let me know what you think about this whole situation with Will and Jada. And if you feel like sharing this video on your social media platforms, let's do it. It's all good. Hey, I do these videos to help you guys out. So if you would like to support the channel and help the channel to grow, my Cash App, my Zelle, and my Patreon page are all in the description and on the screen right here. Until next time, this is your man DX, and I am out.